I guess okay. So we're here to consider special district service plans for metro districts 4, 5, and 6 for Meadow Station. I'd entertain a motion to go into public hearing on that subject.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to enter public hearing. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're in public hearing.
County Attorney, just to comment. Kim Crawford, our counsel with Butler Snow, specific to this issue, is here. available for questions if any do arise. I don't think we have any at this point.
Thank you.
Service plan findings and recommendations. I think I took this from our draft resolution. A lot of it there is sufficient existing and proposed, our projected need for organized service in the area to be serviced by proposed special districts, and the existing service in the area to be served by the proposed special districts is inadequate for present and projected needs. The proposed special districts are capable of providing economical and sufficient service to the area within the proposed boundaries. The area to be included in the proposed special districts has or will have the financial ability to discharge the proposed indebtedness on a reasonable basis. And 5, adequate service is not or will not be available to the area through the county or other existing municipal or quasi-municipal corporations, including special districts, within a reasonable time and on a comparable basis. 6, the facility and service standards of the proposed special districts are compatible with the facility and service standards of each county within which the proposed special districts are located, and each municipality which is an interested party under section 32-1-201 CRS. 7, the proposal is in compliance with master plan adopted pursuant to section 30-20-106 CRS. Number 8, proposal is in substantial compliance with any duly adopted county, regional, or state long-range water quality management plan for the area. And 9, the creation of the districts will be in the best interest of the area proposed to be served. Staff and the planning commission recommend approval of SRs 20-006, SR 20-005, and SR 20-004 to the Board of County Commissioners.
Alrighty, thanks. Do you have any questions for? Greg? No? Guess I didn't invite the applicant up to.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. My name is Christopher Brummett with the law firm of McGeady Becker, 450 East 17th Avenue, Suite 400, Denver, Colorado 80203. Our firm represents the Spring Valley Metropolitan Districts, the development as a whole, and specifically before the board today, the service plans for Districts 4, 5, and 6. I want to start by thanking the CDS and all of the staff at the county for all of their work and all of the explanation and time they've taken to help us get these to this point. With Ms. Stanton's presentation, I would rest on that presentation and the recommendation of approval from both CDS and the Planning Commission. But I do want to make myself and CJ Kirst available to answer any of the board's questions. Specifically, I would assume regarding the roads and the public works concerns, but I'm also happy to address any questions that there are for service plans as a whole.
One of the things that is a little bit puzzling is, why do we have, you're asking for 4, 5, and 6. Why don't we just have 4 to the second power? Well, what I'm saying is, why do we have so many different ones?
The purpose and the thought process behind taking what is right now Spring Valley Districts 1, 2, 3, and 4 and creating an amended plan for 4, creating 5, and creating 6 is taking property within District 3 right now and separating out that property that has already been built, where their houses already are located, and having that remain as District 3, separating out District 6, which is anticipated to be constructed in the future. In Section 30 is where Districts 4 and 5 are located. It's a similar plan there. The goal of the districts is to make sure that any public infrastructure and any indebtedness related to those is specifically being put into those districts for the benefit of people that live within those districts. When they are more divided up that way, it's a lot easier to control and direct exactly where funds are implemented, where that infrastructure goes in. And so it's ensuring that anybody living in those districts is paying for exactly those public improvements and that infrastructure that is benefiting them within that district.
I guess my understanding is I was looking through the history of the Metro District 1 is the water and sewer district for the entirety of the.
That's correct. They
community.
provide, the service area is all of the Spring Valley development and water and sewer
So
service.
the other districts contract with one, or?
They
for
are in,
those?
in agreement with one for those primary services, and then the service plan set out that District 1 coordinates with the other districts to provide street, television relay, mosquito, all the other powers
Yes.
that are defined as secondary
And
services
then,
as
so,
well.
and then 2 or 3 overlay the existing build-out.
Exactly, yeah.
No, I don't have anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Timing. When will all of this stuff be needed and used?
District number 4 is actually in the process of starting construction. I know that they are working with the county to get plats approved. I know that they are hoping to start putting up roofs in District 4 this year? Yeah, within the year. They're seeking financing mechanisms right now.
Yeah.
So I know that that's happening. District 5 and 6, I think, are following a similar suit. But the reason that property was removed from 3 to create 6 was because District 3 was also working on finishing its build out. So it is imminent. District 4 will be within this year, and then 5 and 6, if the markets stay where they're at, should follow shortly thereafter.
How many of these are dependent on County Road 178?
I believe CJ Kurse can speak more specifically to that, but my understanding is that it would be 4 and 5? Yeah, I believe it's 4 and 5.
And notice we had referred this to both Elizabeth Fire and Rattlesnake. Does the community, is it split between the 2 fire districts? Or
I believe a portion of District 3 shares, but I know that Districts 4 and 5 are wholly within Elizabeth.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I apologize, not District 3, District 6, I believe
Okay.
shares, yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I know they'll work that out.
And we did have a community meeting where Elizabeth Fire was present and agreed, and then have been in contact with Rattlesnake, and they have also consented to the organization.
Since you brought it up, was there much community interest, or did you have many people attend? Or?
We invited all of the overlapping jurisdictions to the community meeting. We had Parks and Rec, the school district, fire department for Elizabeth, and I believe representatives of the county land board were also.
I do think part of the western piece of this is going to fall in Douglas County Schools.
I believe so.
Yeah, okay.
I have a question on the 1, 2, and 3. It talks about the special district being, in charge of the Parks and Rec and stuff. And these 4, 5, and 6, it talks about the Parks and Rec district, being more in charge of the Parks and Rec. Is there are they going to try and coordinate what's going on in 1, 2, and 3 with 4, 5, and 6, or is that just sort of going to be?
I think that's the long-term goal, specifically regarding, I think, Parks and Rec services. We're talking trails, public facilities, those kinds of things. I know District 2 is in a long-term communication with the homeowners association in that district to take over some of those Parks and Rec maintenance and operations as well. Part of this process and this application is to streamline our work between the HOA, the districts, and the Parks and Rec department to make sure everybody's working together. We have intergovernmental agreements in place with the Parks and Rec department and the other districts, and I don't anticipate any problem coordinating as we move forward.
All I've really got, more of a, I guess, the Public Works comment on the plan for the roads that were put in, and I'm not sure which district those roads fall in, if that's.
They are mostly located within District 2. I don't want to say they're exclusively within, but yeah.
Yeah, I know that isn't truly the purpose of this hearing, but
I'm
is there
happy to-
bonding capacity or financing available to bring those roads?
They have already, actually, the districts have already budgeted and appropriated the funds necessary to contract with geotechnical engineering services and have done so. I brought a copy of that service agreement for the board today, but the long and short of it is since fall of 2019, the board has been working to contract with a geotechnical firm. They contracted with Cesar, who performed initial visual analysis of these roads and are in the process of providing those to Rory Hale over at the county to make sure that that it's transparent how Cesar is identifying which areas of the road and what areas, and then ultimately repair and construction. We also have the funds available to perform.
So right now, we're kind of in the process of identifying
That's exactly
what the
right.
issues that need to be addressed are.
Yeah, and like I said, we finished that initial visual analysis, and so the next will be the testing and determining where to do boreholes, stuff like that.
Okay.
But the Public Works group, I think, are looking to you for a schedule of events.
Yes.
When?
The issue with setting a schedule for how long it would take to perform the construction or perform the repairs is that based on the visual analysis alone, all that visual analysis is going to do is identify areas to conduct further testing. What I understand Cesar did is walk the 7 miles of the road, used drones to take a bunch of photographs, and have collected this data. Once they take that data, identify where the testing needs to take place, and then with county approval conducts those bore drilling analyses, I understand Cesar will be able to give us a timeline for how long construction will take. We're moving forward with the process. We're just kind of in limbo. It's hard to put dates on how long a project will take when we're not sure what the scope of it's going to be.
I guess at least the immediate one would be, when will we know the scope? I mean,
I know CJ has been on the day-to-day with
I mean,
Cesar, and I
when
take
you
the-
hired him, when do you expect him to be done?
when I
with
take the
their
board's
work?
point too,
Yeah,
we've
yeah.
submitted the visual analysis,
Yeah.
and so I know we're waiting for the next step. So I will let him speak more to
Okay, thank you.
CJ Kerr, 730 Terrell Avenue, Suite 200, Centennial. 2. Christina mentioned some information went back and forth. One specific date that she mentioned was the Sunday before the Planning Commission. That was the date that I sent the visual inspection report to Rory. So they've had it since then. We haven't heard back. I've gone ahead and requested, the plan was that Rory and others would be in conversation with J. Caesar to agree on test hole locations. I haven't heard back from him. I haven't really gotten any response at all. So I've just gone ahead and asked J. Caesar to come up with their first recommendation of where they think the location should be to keep the process moving forward. I think, once we agree on where the test holes will go, we'll probably be somewhere within 30 to 45 days of getting those results back. And then they'll make a recommendation, as to where exactly certain modifications need to take place. And we'll probably put that out to bid and have some contractors give us pricing. And, maybe as soon as this summer, we'll have all that taken care of. I mean, that's just my best guess at this time.
But hasn't Public Works given you some guidance of where their concerns are?
Well, but the plan that we agreed on was that we were going to start with this visual inspection of the entire 7 miles. So, yes, they have gone out and done their own inspection, but they were the ones that said that we need to get a professional to evaluate it. So that's what we've done.
Because I know you got, well, I'm assuming you want to kind of pigtail on pavers you've already got some paving projects going on or intended this summer, so assuming
Right.
it would save some activation costs to add to.
Yeah, we'll see if it all kind of comes together around the same time frame.
Alrighty. Yeah.
Sam, Bart, do you have any questions? You've been working on this in a more intimate basis than we have. All we've got is lots of reading.
Right, so Bart Greer, County Attorney, to address that question, I've had all of my questions, and those predominantly revolved around whether our regulations are, what's being proposed is in compliance with any regulations that are local or state, and the statutory requirements. And I'm satisfied to that end, and counsel that is specific to this issue that I introduced earlier. We've spoken quite a bit, and we don't have any concerns as to whether there are compliance issues with county regulations or state statute. But that's that's kind of a hyper-technical approach.
My question was more intended to the historical issues.
I think when I was looking at this, I was separating these issues out. What I can say with regard to the studies that are being conducted or will be conducted, I have heard about that. I know that there have been ongoing discussions, and it certainly sounds like all the parties are engaged and committed to address the issues that have been brought up in that letter that was referenced from June 2019, and even more recently with the email exchanges and the conversations between the developer and Road and Bridge. So I don't think it's completely resolved, obviously, but I think that there's good ongoing dialogue in order to get that accomplished.
Commissioner Sam Albrecht, County Manager. I think we are back at the table and back in discussions on this, and I like the progress that's we're being made. We need to just continue to get this project done to make sure that our road inventory for the entire county is correct, and this is a big piece of it, or a piece of it. I won't say a big piece of it, but a piece of it. So we need to continue to have everybody at the table and cooperating and get a master schedule put together and get it done.
Yeah, just, that we've got a long history this project's been going on for nearly 20 years now, and I know we've matured a lot as a county in that time, and I know we're now much more on top of working through the acceptance process as roads are built versus just waiting for a developer to they'd like to bring these into acceptance. So if you could pass on to Mr. Marshall and others, I mean, we do appreciate continuing to work with this, because and we've got roads that are well over a decade old that everybody kind of as a county road that aren't really a county road yet, and we have issues of essentially crossing what's kind of private property between segments that are public for snow clearing and all of that. It becomes a just kind of a constant sore point to pick at. So I'm glad it's moving forward, but I think we can probably expect that roads that are built will go into an acceptance process pretty rapidly afterwards.
Yes, and I guess, like, to your point, the
Yeah.
historical context here is these roads were never finally accepted, even though they were conditionally accepted due to the recession.
Yeah.
And so now that it's back up and moving and construction is happening, it's in everybody's interest to get these roads in your county up and going so the people who live there can use them.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I know to the point of, I think our set of road standards, we required that our manhole covers have Fort Collins printed on them. So I think I know where our initial set of standards came from, but that's all I have. Do you have anything else? Grant? If not,
Yeah, so will we need a motion to approve each of these individually, or will we do it all at once?
yeah, it's probably cleaner to do it individually.
I would think so.
I think the parliamentary
'Cause one's
rules
an
would
amendment.
allow for a group one, but doing them separate does allow for specific amendments and does
Yeah.
make a cleaner record.
That's the reason I asked.
I know one's an amendment really and replacement, the others are new. So I'll series of motions.
All right, Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the Spring Valley Ranch Service Plan Metropolitan District Number 4, and it's SR-20-0006.
I'll second.
Okay. With the conditions
With the,
that were,
just the, for the CDS presentation.
I understand there were no conditions.
oh, that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
so they were just findings, yeah.
But
So,
yes, we do
Thank you. All right.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adopt the amended Metropolitan District 4. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
I'll make a motion, we approve, Service Plan Metropolitan District Number 5, SR-20-0005.
Second.
Okay, we have a Motion and a second to approve the service plan for Metropolitan District Number 5. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we adopt the service plan Metropolitan District Number 6, SR-20-0004.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and a second to approve the service plan for Metropolitan District Number 6. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. I guess with that, I'd take a motion to move out of public hearing.
I'll make a motion, we close public hearing at this time.
Okay, motion and a second to close public hearing. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. I would accept a motion to adjourn unless there is any other business before us. I don't see any.
So moved for new business.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thanks. Thank you.